So if we recall our previous lecture, then we have discussed about cone, cone pulley type of Hestock drive. In that, we have seen that how to decide diameters of cone pulley so that we get speed in geometric progression, right? So this is what we discussed in previous session. We have derived equation for transmission ratio on different steps, and we have discussed about ray diagram of step cone pulley drive. Now, in addition to that, today, suppose using cone drive, we are getting three speeds using three step cones, right? Now, suppose if I want to double that speed, then using inverted gear drive, we can do that. By using back gears, we can double the speed available from step cone pulley drive. So let's see how to decide gear dimensions, and let us discuss about basic working of that drive. So as here we have input step cone, right? This is shaft connected to motor, and opposite to that now we are having similar idle step cone, but it is now inverted. So on this side we have one another step cone which is actually inverted, and both are idle cones, right? So this is spindle shaft. So on this we have connected spindle, right? Now as we use common belt, so let me indicate one belt which is on first cone or first pulley combination of cone, right? So here we have used one belt, and this belt length is common or same belt we are using to achieve three different speeds from this step cone, right? Now generally this pulley is loose fitted on the spindle. So this pulley is actually loose fitted on the spindle, right? So that is it is not having direct contact with the spindle shaft, right? And we have one gear on this spindle shaft, this gear is fixed or key joint on spindle, right? So if we are rotating this motor with some RPM and using this belt drive, if we transmit motion to this pulley which is on spindle, then pulley will rotate, but spindle will not rotate. The reason is pulley is loose fitted on spindle, so there would not be any power transmission. But now we have another gear on spindle which is of small diameter. So this is one another gear, right? So I give name, this is suppose gear A, this is gear D, and opposite to this now we have back gears. So we are getting here inverted gear drive. So here we have back gears which I call gear C. So this is gear C which is ideal to gear D. Means C and D, they are having same number of teeth, or they are the ideal gears, right? And I consider now one another ideal gear D. Sorry, this I should write here B. This is B, and now I consider one another gear C which is ideal to this A, right? Consider that A and C, they are ideal gears. So C is having number of teeth, suppose Z3. B is having number of teeth Z2. A is having number of teeth Z1. So Z1 is equals to Z3 and Z2 is equals to Z4, which are number of teeth on gear D, right? And here now we consider shaft of back gear. So this is the shaft of back gear, right? Okay, now this pulley is connected with gear A permanently. This pulley is connected with gear A, but gear A is again loose fitted on spindle shaft. So there is no direct power, motion transmission from A to spindle, right? So this is again loose fitted, but A and this pulley both are connected, right? Now this B is fixed on back gear shaft and C is also fixed, right? Now if we don't want reduction, means if we want higher 3 speeds, if I go for this arrangement, then total possible speed from this drive, total number of speeds available from this drive would be 6. How? That we'll see now. First of all, suppose if this M is rotating, then this input pulley is rotating. From input pulley to this output pulley which is on spindle, that will rotate, and I use one pin to engage and disengage this pulley with gear D. I use one pin, right? So I use one pin. So if pin is engaged, at that time you have to take care that this back gears should be disengaged from A and D gears which are on spindle, right? So if pin engage, then how power transmission take place? Motor to this output pulley from pulley to gear D, and from gear D we get rotation on spindle, right? So we get three speeds. First, if build is on this first set of pulleys, then we get one speed, which is maximum speed, maximum possible speed. If I change build location and if I shift to the second step, I get second speed, and if I shift to the third step, then I get third speed, right? So when pin is engaged, we are getting Z1 is equals to uh, 3 speeds, right? Now, now the role of back gear. Now what we do, we remove this pin. If we remove this pin and if back gears are also disengaged, if both are disengaged, then motion from this pulley will not pass to spindle because pin is removed, right? But now if pin is removed and if back gears B and C, they are engaged with A and D, then how power or how motion transmission take place from motor shaft through this pulley to this output pulley on spindle. From pulley rotation on spindle, motion transmit to gear A. From gear A, motion transmit to B. From B, as B and C, they are on common back gear shaft, so B rotates, then C rotates, and from C, motion transmit to D, and D is fixed on spindle, so spindle will rotate. So in this way, we get again three different speed due to these back gears. Means three different position of builds with back gears, then again we get three different RPMs, right? So in that way, if pin is disengaged, if pin disengaged, then motion transmission take place from motor to pulley, from pulley to A, A to B, B to C, C to D, and from this to spindle, right? So again, for three different position of build, we'll get three different speeds, right? But so in that way, we get total 6 speeds, right? But what happen is these speeds, the speeds which are available on Z, these speeds which are available by back gears means Z3, sorry, Z2, number of speeds available using back gears, they are having speed always less than the speeds available by direct pulley, right? The reason is because here we are using gear ratio such that we get reduction in speed. So A to B reduction, then from C to D again reduction, and as these two are ideal gears, this A and C and B and D, these are the ideal gears, then gear ratio between A to B and C to D is same, right? And that gear ratio again we need to keep in some geometric progression, right? Because we want to design these gears, these drives such that we get speed in geometric progression. So these are also having some gear ratio in geometric progression, right? So with this basic now, suppose if we try to draw ray diagram, then let me draw ray diagram. So now again, if we consider similar orientation which we discussed in all geared Hesto, vertical lines, this stands for shafts, then how many vertical lines we need to go for? If you look here, then one line is for motor, one shaft is for motor shaft, second is spindle, and third is now for back gear. If you recall our previous lecture, then we use only two lines because motor shaft or to indicate motor shaft and spindle shaft. But now here we have back gear shaft as well. So that's why we'll be using three vertical lines. So 3 vertical lines. Now if z is equals to 6, then we need to go for 6 horizontal lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, right? Now let me give name. This is motor shaft, this is back gear shaft, and this is spindle shaft, right? Now if I go for only built transmission, means pin is engaged and back gears they are disengaged, right? And pin is engaged, then pulley to pulley power transmission, and this will give us higher speed. So if you consider 3 pulleys, then we get 3 speeds, right? Which are those 3 speeds? Suppose first of all, if I give numbers, if I note down n1 to n6, then these are the different, sorry, n4, 5 and n6, right? So first, highest 3 rpms will get using pulley transmission, right? There is no role of back gears, so we'll skip this shaft. And as we have discussed in previous lecture, that motor rpm should be mean of maximum and minimum rpm from the pulley drive, right? So maximum speed is n6 and minimum speed is n4 from pulley drive, right? So motor rpm should be mean of that, so I consider this as a n0 motor rpm, right? And now I draw 3 lines. First is motor to n6, means if you look here, then this position of build that will give us n6. If I switch to next, then diameter is increased on the output shaft, so I get reduction in speed. So next we get n5, so next we'll be getting n5 here, and again if I switch position from second to third, then maximum reduction in the speed. Then next is n0 to n4, right? So these are the 3 speeds which we get. Now the role of back gear. So if you look here, if now I disengage pin and if I engage back gears, then they always reduce speed due to the gear ratio, reduction in the gear ratio, right? So now our aim is to get this n3, n2 and n1, right, from back gears. So 2 back gears, so two times reduction in the speed. So for that, what we need to consider is we need to reduce, means from n6, if build is on first step, and if now I engage back gears, then from n6 we get n3. So from n6, first of all, from A to B gear we get 5 to the power 1.5 reduction. So that, suppose I am indicating by dotted line, right? And again from C to D, again 5 to the power 1.5 reduction. So this shaft is back gear shaft. So now again I get reduction, and in this way I get this n3, which is distinct rpm compared to n6 to n4. So how much progression I have considered, geometric progression I consider in back gears? For this line, if I indicate this, then this ratio, gear ratio is, as it's a reduction, so I consider phi minus 1.5, right? Similarly, again, the second gear drive CD that gives same reduction of phi minus 1.5, right? So same will happen with N5, means now if I switch position of wheel from first set of pulley to second set of pulley, then and again now here pin is removed and back gears are connected, then N5 will be reduced to N2, right? So and with same reduction 5 to the power 3, so N5 will be reduced to N2, right? And if now we go for third set of pulley, then with back gears, then this N4 that will reduce to N1, right? So again I am indicating it by dotted line. Fine. So this is what is the ray diagram or speed chart for stepped cone pulley drive with back gears. So this is what the involvement of back gear. By using back gear now, what we do, we twice this speed. So total is Z6. Total we want Z6. So first set of 3 speed we get without back gears and next 3 using back gears. Right? So now if you have any doubt, then you can ask question. Otherwise, we'll start to solve one. We try to solve one problem. Any question, query in ray diagram of or the speed chart of step cone pulley drive with back gears? So I think there is no question. So let us try to design this type of drive. So now I'm giving you one problem definition. Problem definition is initial and final speed of lathe headstock is 20 and 340, means the N1 minimum speed is 20 and maximum speed is 340 rpm. This speed is to be attained in 8 steps, means the last speed is n8 rpm, right? So this range we need to cover in z is equals to 8 speed steps. Find the speed, back gear ratio and counter shaft speed. So we need to find out intermediate speeds like N22, N7. Then back gear ratio we need to find out. What is the back gear ratio? So we need to find out back gear ratio AB, right? And third thing is we need to find out counter shaft speed. We need to find out counter shaft speed, or I can say motor shaft speed N0. So these things we need to find out. Okay. So first of all, as it is based on geometric progression, this intermediate speeds, they are based on geometric progression, right? So we want total 8 speeds. Then we know equation, that is nz by n1 is equals to 5 raised to z minus 1, right? So to find out this intermediate speeds, first of all we need to find out this phi. Okay, so nz means n8, that is 340 divided by, now n1 is 20, is equals to now phi, and as a power we are having 8 minus 1 means 7, right? So if you find out, if you take 1 by 7 on both the side, then we get phi is equals to approximately 1.5. This is what the round off value of phi. Now after getting this, next is, let us make a list of RPM available from gearbox. So our N1, that is equals to, minimum RPM is 20. Now N2, what is N2? It's a 20 into 1.5, right? So N2 is 30, 20 into 1.5, N3, then 30 into 1.5, then we get 45, N4 is equals to 67.5, then N5, let me, okay, N5 is N4 into 5, then we get N5 is equals to 101.2 RPM, N6 is 151.9, N7, that is 227.8, and N8 is equals to 341.7, right? Okay, so our first task is over. We have found this intermediate speeds. So now if you recall the basic principle of this cone pulley drive with back gears, then this first minimum RPMs, first 4 RPMs, those will get using back gears, right? So this RPMs will get using back gears, right? And this highest 4 RPM, those will get using pulley without back gears, only by using pulley without back gears, right? And this with back gears. So we need to consider step cone pulley with 4 steps, right? Because we want 4 speeds using pulley drive, N5 to N8, right? Okay, now if you look, if you find this N8, then N8 is 341.7, while here our design or the theoretical N8 is 340. So let us find out what is the percentage variation in the speed of N8, right? We need to check that condition whether it is there or not. Otherwise I need to refine this, or I need to consider this phi with the second decimal place as well to get it within the acceptable range. So that we know, we need to first of all find out percentage delta n. So for this last speed, let us calculate then n practical, which we are getting 341.7, minus n theoretical, which is 340, divided by theoretical 340, sorry, practical 341.7, right? And if you find out this in percentage, then this we are getting as 0.5 percentage. Now this should be less than our acceptance criteria, which is 10 times phi minus 1, right? So if you check, Phi is 1.5, so 1.5 minus 1, then we get 0.5, 0.5 into 10, then our acceptance criteria is plus or minus 5 RPM, 5% of RPM. That is what our criteria. So this is way less than the our acceptable range. So yes, these speed steps, they are accepted as per this acceptance criteria. So we'll go with these speed steps only, right? Okay. Now next we need to find out gear ratio of back gears. Now if to explain that, first I need to draw ray diagram, then that would be easy to understand. So let me draw ray diagram now for this arrangement. Then if you draw ray diagram, then first of all, again this drive is with back gears, so we'll go for three lines, three vertical lines, because three shafts are there. So line 1, line 2, and line 3, right? This is motor shaft, this is back gear shaft, and this is spindle shaft, right? Now how many speeds? Total 8 speeds, so we need to go for 8 horizontal lines. So line 1, line 2, line 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and finally this last one is 8, right? Now this is the minimum RPM, so I write this as N1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, right? Okay, so first this 4 higher RPM will get using without back gear, right? So N motor will be the minimum of mean of this. So that is also our one question. We need to find out N0. So what will be N0? N0 is square root of maximum and minimum speed available from pulley without back gears. So N8 into N5, right? So I write here N8 into N5. Okay, so if you do that, if you find N5 and N8, in the previous slide we have that N5 is 101.8, 1.2, and this 341.7. If you find that, then you will get N0 is equals to 186 RPM. If standard motor is available with this RPM, then you can directly connect that motor, right? If not available, then you need to use one another belt drive to reduce RPM up to 186, right? So we assume that this is N0, which is available, which is 186, right? Now from this, we can say gear ratios for belt drive, 4 different RPMs. So N0 to N8, N0 to N7, N7 to N0 to N6, N0 to N5, right? Okay, now what should be the gear ratio? We need, if we need to get N8 from N4 from N8, so total gear ratio is 1, 2, 3, 4. We need to reduce this by, we need to reduce this entire N8 to, we want N4, then 1, 2, 3, 4. It is by 5 raised to minus 4. Okay, this is by both the back gears drive. Then value of each back gear will be, means if you look here in this uh, diagram, so this is from A to D gear ratio. Its total is 5 is to 4 minus 4. Then from A to B and from C to D is 5 is to minus 4. Then from A to B is how much? It's 5 is to minus 2, and from C to D again 5 is to minus 2. So in this way we get overall reduction of 5 is to 4, right? So we got now gear ratio, overall gear ratio, reduction ratio using back gears is 5, which is 1.5 raised to 4. This is what the overall reduction, right? So which we get 5.06. Okay, so now as we have considered ideal gears, then we can say this total we need to achieve using back gear. So I can say number of teeth on gear A by number of teeth on B is a reverted drive. So from C to D, this should give us 1 by 5.06 reduction, right? So this is what AB means. A and B stands for number of teeth on gear AB and CD. So here you can see this Z1 is nothing but directly here taken as a, or if you write it in same manner, then Z1 to Z2, Z3 to Z4 should be 1 by 5.06, right? Okay, now if you look, then the distance between these two shafts, spindle shaft and this back gear shaft, is nothing but sum of radius of these two. As these two are ideal, then we can say half of the A and half of the B. If you take a mean of that, then that is equals to mean diameter of these two, right? So that we can say here in terms of number of teeth as well, right? So if now I consider Z only, then Z1 plus Z2 by 2 is equals to, we have considered same module of gear, that's why we are writing this. So Z3 plus Z4 by 2, because center distance should be same between these two shafts, right? So with that assumption we write this, and we have also assumed A by B is equals to, mean Z, let me write here, Z1 by Z2 is equals to Z3 by Z4. Both are ideal, right? 5 is to minus 2 and 5 is to minus 2. So both are ideal, right? So that's why we can say now, if we put this in this equation, then it's a Z1 by Z2 square, right? So if I put Z3 by Z4 is equals to Z1 by Z2, then I get Z1 by Z2 square. If you take square root, then we get Z1 by Z2. So we get gear ratio now. Okay, so we get here Z1 by Z2 is equals to 1 by 2.25, and this is also for Z3 by Z4, right? Okay, so we need to select number of teeth on these gears 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 such that we get this gear ratio. So there are so many combinations you can take. So I'm selecting Z1 by Z2 is Z1 is 30 and Z2 is I'm selecting 68. If I solve this, then I get 1 by 2.25. So this is what my selection. So I'm selecting Z1 30 and Z2 68. If I do that, then Z3 is also 30 and Z4 is also 68, right? So this is how we got gear ratio, and this will also tell me now if I take mean of these two, then this will also tell me what should be the distance between two shafts here. What should be the distance between two shafts? If you take module and then after if you find out diameter, pitch circle diameter, and based on that now you can calculate what should be the distance between these two shafts, spindle shaft and back gear shaft. So I hope it is clear up to this. If you have any doubt, then you can ask. Is this clear? So I'm just giving you one task. Try to find out pulley diameters because yet we have not find out pulley diameters. So you might have learned a design of build pulley drive. So with that knowledge, now you can find out pulley diameters because in previous lecture we have derived equation of transmission ratios for different pulley combination. So if I go back to this, then what is the equation for transmission ratio between these two and these two, right? So let me just give you hint for solution. So now, as you know, we have transmission ratio equation Uj is equals to any jth RPM from constant motor RPM is equals to pulley diameter on input shaft to pulley diameter on output shaft for that particular jth speed is equals to phi 2j minus uh, let me erase this, I have made some mistake. So now 2j in bracket z plus 1 this whole divided by 2. This is what we discussed in previous session. Now we have this dj these combinations, right? Okay, or so from this you can find out ratios of pulley diameter, and you know equation of built length for straight pulley drive. And suppose if I assume velocity, maximum possible velocity of build as 10 meter per second, then try to find out now diameters of pulley. So we need to find out D1 to D4 and D small d1 to small d4. As these are ideal, so that's why this capital D4 will be small d1 and this capital D1 will be small d4, right? So you need to just do tasks to find out d1 to d4 only. If you then that will directly give you value for small d1 to d4 because both are ideal pulleys, right? Okay, so try to find out pulley diameters then based on this information. Okay, and one another thing I want to mention here, this Z will be taken by, or I should say this now not Z, I should say this is Z dash, because this Z dash is half of Z. Means if total 8 speed you want from uh, pulley drive with back gears, then number of speeds available from only pulley drive without back gear will be half of that. So this equation is only valid for pulley drives, means this higher RPMs. If you look here, then you get this N8 to N5 using pulley drive, right? So this equation is for N5 to N8, means 4 times you need to use, you need to find out N5 by N0, then N6 by N0, N7 by N0, and N8 by N0, because remaining speeds we are getting using back gears, using this gear drive. So remaining speeds from N1 to N4 we are getting using back gears, right? So you can try to solve based on the information which is given in this page. I'm keeping this page shared with you so you can use this information. So find out pulley diameters. If you have any doubt, then you can ask now.